All right, so I did the first step of this repair just to see what's going on here. And you can see that this whole thing is just rotted out, and that cabinet needed to come out no matter what. When I pulled off the countertop, when it fell on the ground, it just bored a hole. And this is a double layer of this crappy wood. Wherever the flashlight is pointing, if you could see that, that's where the corner dug in, and this is what's coming out as soon as all this cabinetry is coming out. Also, I noticed that they have double covered these previous areas. This is the old wall. This is the wall that was here visible when you could buy the place. Anyway, so we're uncovering the old, probably original wood board paneling stuff, dealy bops. And then I've started working on this as well. Just, it's coming out. So kind of just wanted to open it up and see, just because if the floor is this bad, I was thinking, well, maybe my studs at the bottom might be problems. So that's why we're in there. And I'm looking forward to getting this open so I can access the furnace. And I'll be willing to work on the water if I know that I can keep the furnace running when the water's on. Otherwise, I don't want to risk another fire and whatnot from, or I mean the water pipes freezing. So, yep, I'm very happy that we're getting closer to having this floor out. And I will probably actually just go ahead and rip this out too. And this will probably be the first room that gets a new floor. However, interestingly enough, today I turned the water on. And when I was in here looking at the bathroom, we didn't notice any leaking. Also, I found those are capped off, so the faucet would never work anyway in its current state. It needs two little connector dealy bops and whoever knows what else it's below here, down through the bottom and the crawl space. So that will get worked on, but it sounded like rushing water right where the beam of light is. And on the outside of the wall there is irrigation pipe that's laid down, and I'm not sure if that's for regular roof drainage or if that's for some kind of like overflow, water overflow, or an escape for water from the trailer water system that might have been put in here by a previous person. But there's something under here, under the trailer, that needs to be worked on. So I'm considering either ripping this floor out and just gutting this bathroom anyway, or I'm considering opening up the side paneling and accessing everything in the crawl space, which is probably going to be the first response, because I want to try and have something in here that I can use, and I don't want to have to rip it up right away. I mean, it's nasty anyway, but it's at least better than nothing. So, yeah, we're getting there, but for now, that's where we're at. I'm going to keep working. All right, so did some more work. I've got another day off tomorrow, so I'm going to be back tomorrow. You could see I pulled out the kitchen sink and the counter. I was just looking in here more carefully, and I noticed that there was some mold in these back corners when I was looking around, and I just decided it's just filthy, basically. Like first it led to this rat poop infested nest over here. And, you know, I mean, that's also partly I removed the dishwasher because I was going to see, oh, okay, yeah, there was water damage. And then this whole piece needed to be replaced. That's probably where the rats were coming in, right over there, or mice. I'm not sure if they're going to be so interested right now because of all the, there's nothing really to do in here, but we'll find that out. Maybe I will put a piece of wood over that before I leave, and then they can chew through that, I guess. And here I started working on this, but I need to bring my power tool to remove these cabinets, or maybe my ladder, and I might want to have a more stable floor. So I'm going to work through that before I go ahead and drop this. I may just use the Sawzall and take off pieces at a time. This cabinetry right up here, I'm going to rip it out. And the reason why is because this back paneling and all of this paneling here can't come off without taking the cabinets out. I mean, I could cut it and that would probably do okay, but we just, after being in here, I feel more gross, you know, like everything kind of gets worse before it gets better. So the other interesting thing that I noticed today is this. That's not normal. Also, I started just to see a little bit over here. You could see that they just added another layer to the kitchen to cover up the junk that was already down there. They didn't do anything, and this is why the door doesn't close. So it may not actually need much leveling. We may get lucky there. That's going to be, I think, the positive thing from that. And so hopefully that's what it comes to in the end. But there's a day's worth of work, along with being on the phone for 2 hours and in the office for a couple hours. So that's the way she goes. But yeah, glad we're ripping this all out. I think this should have been done a long time ago. So this could turn into a very nice kitchen space. And I'm kind of thinking, as long as I keep the support wall, or keep the support in the wall, I would like to maybe even make this an open, what do you call that? Just open the wall up to the door, you know, above the door and all the way over, and just remove all that and put in pillars with a vanity, an island, something like that, an island where you do breakfast on one side and cook on the other, something like that. So that's the idea anyway. We'll see if it's worth it. It might, you know, I probably have to have at least this one side here with a probably extra support there, and then maybe over there. But that's just me not knowing anything, and so maybe we could walk it back a little bit and widen up the entrance, and, you know, and then have a shorter island, something like that, and maybe the pillar could be a little bit further back. But we'll just play it by ear and see what is required before I go do all that foolishness. So also, we probably mentioned it earlier, we turned on the water. Yeah, we had mentioned that earlier. And shut it back off because I think we've got a leak in the master bathroom. So anyway, that's it for now. More to follow on the next one, which I'll be filming tomorrow, hopefully. Which for you will not know when.